Bailey worked for 3 years in order to play 54-hole events. And this
Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the Sandy Hahn podcast. This is episode 75. Very, very excited about this one. 74? Damn. So, well, we'll leave that in there. It makes it funny because I always screw it up. So I'm just excited. Been looking forward to this. It's amazing how fast it's come together, thanks to my new dear friend Eric Katz from Solo Rider, and he's that's Eric at the white hat at the bottom at Solo Rider. He's been tremendous to me, and I started learning about these adaptive golf tournaments and wanting to play in them, and then he told me about Bailey, and I was like, oh, I've got to have her on. And here we are. So, Bailey Bish, the National Adaptive, what's the formal title? Women's National, I don't know, what is it?
Yeah, so I won the Team United States Disabled Open presented by the PGA of America. And
wow. There you go.
The Adaptive Championship and the Texas Adaptive Championship.
That's awesome. And then did you win it last year too?
No, this was the first year that I've been able to play in 54-hole events. Last year I was
wow.
playing 9-hole divisions.
That's so awesome. You're already inspiring me, so I'm going to enter in these events next summer, and I'm not just going to enter in them, I'm going to win them too. So Eric, why don't you I guess say a few things about your wonderful company and how our relationship had a bit of a rocky start, but it's absolutely wonderful now.
Yeah. So again, I'm Eric Hatch with Solo Rider. I got involved back in 2009. The company I actually am employed by is Regal Research and Manufacturing. We used to manufacture components for Solo Rider, and in 2009, Solo Rider, because of the very little profit, if any, I think it was actually a major negative, asked if we would be interested in looking at Solo Rider and consuming it. And the owner of the company, Mike Powell, and his wife and their kids had seen what Solo Rider had done for civilians and veterans of the world. And with Regal, we have a lot of very large military contracts. And just to see how it changed people's lives, we felt that we couldn't let it just fade away because there's so limited adaptive carts on the market to begin with. So we put it under the Regal Research umbrella in 2009, and we've continued it ever since. And over the years, Derek Jernigan, one of the owners, and I, and like I like to say, we've essentially been adopted into the adaptive golf world and had the chance to meet, people like yourself, Sandy, and Bailey, be able to watch her play in the U.S. Adaptive Open Championship at Pinehurst. The relationships are so real and so heartfelt. It's myself, obviously, I'm a golf nut. If there's an addict, I would be it. My family fully supports my activity. That includes, my wife, my 24-year-old son, and my 6-year-old daughter. And they've had the chance to meet such wonderful people in the golf industry. And I get to drag them across the country back and forth. And, my daughter's become very good friends with so many of the players and kids that she meets out there. So it's very beneficial. It's very helpful day to day. You get to meet some of the most terrific people you can imagine, and the relationships that we've formed will go well beyond a lifetime. And yeah, when I first met you, Sandy, it was you say rocky start, but I'm no different than anybody else. And like yourself, if I'm buying something, if you could have got it to me yesterday, I'd complain that it was late. So it's fun when we get deeper into the relationship side of things, because we all want everything, and we want the things that are going to benefit us immediately. And that's where our discussion of you purchasing a solo rider and obviously a training chair now, and then talking about Bailey and where Bailey is today versus where she was, just 2 or 3 years ago. Yes, it's inspiring to individuals like yourself, Sandy, but as an able-bodied golfer, for me, it's ultra inspiring to see what someone like Bailey, someone like yourself. I've been very fortunate to become a very near and dear friend of Dennis Walters, and to see him and learn about his life in the golf world. Again, those are friendships for a lifetime, and life lessons of a lifetime. And like Dennis's favorite saying is, everyone should be chasing a dream. And if that dream doesn't work, then go chase another dream. And I think if we employ that just in general, it always gives you something to fight for. And I think Bailey expresses that by her attitude in golf and her absolutely desire to play and win, and just no quit attitude. It's fascinating. Bailey, I think you said you're 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a wonderful trait to see in someone your age that could have easily taken a different direction. And just look what you've done this year with 3 tournament wins. If that can inspire someone, then we're reading a different book. So appreciate what you've been doing. It's wonderful.
Thank you. I couldn't have done all of this without the support of Solo Rider and Click Control Marketing and Ping and all the wonderful, individuals and companies who are out there supporting adaptive golf right now.
Such a just unbelievable story. So why don't we just talk about? I always talk about my condition, disease that I have. In fact, I did a speech last night at a local club, and also talked about. A lot of times, people, they're like, "You okay talking about it?" Now, I'm an open book. Not a lot of people are, so I just, talk and talk and talk. It's very therapeutic for me. But Bailey has, it's dystonia. Is there additional?
Yeah, so I have hemidystonia and cervical dystonia that affect the right side of my body.
And that's actually something I had heard of. I didn't know a lot about it, but whenever I give a speech or talk about what I have, multiple system atrophy, nobody's ever heard of it. I never even heard of it prior to getting it. But yours, and when we talked yesterday, it's there's definitely a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the spasms create a lot of pain, especially when the spasms are flared up.
And difficulty walking.
Yeah, I have a lot of difficulty walking, difficulty using my right hand, and difficulty turning my head are some of the big challenges I face.
Yeah, see, that's only slightly, I wouldn't say a good thing, but I don't have a whole lot of pain. Just very stiff all the time. The biggest pain was really just my ego, because I just can't do stuff I used to do athletic wise. I used to be involved in a lot of different sports, but mainly it was golf and skiing. Never thought I'd ever do either one of those again, and now I'm doing both, and it's very exciting. But so how long have you been with Solo Rider? When did you first get a card?
Yeah, so I've been using a Solar Rider since 2020. That's when I was first introduced to the Solar Rider, and I got to try one out. And there was an organization here in town that had one that I was able to use. So I was using that around my home course, and then Solar Rider has arranged for me to get a new Solar Rider that's been refurbished. So I'm excited to get that. I should be getting that next week.
And now you have, and we're going to show some pictures that I sent to Tyler of her ride, her personal ride. It's black and purple. It's so cool. Hopefully I'll have some personalized version of that once I start winning tournaments next summer. But and then so one of the coolest things, which we'll have some videos, some pictures, the ping. Tell us about the golden putter, or what's the...
Yeah, so last Monday I went up to Ping's headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I got to go into their golden putter ball. And while I was in there, they actually presented me with the golden putter in honor of my win at the Ping United States Disabled Open, or Disabled Open, presented by the PGA last May.
And if I'm correct, so that putter, that's going to be there forever, and it's in there with other like major championship winners and tournament winners, right?
So there's actually not a putter of mine in the golden putter vault, but they did make me a golden putter that I have at home.
Oh, even cooler. So you get to have it with you. You have a little display for it, or are you going to have one built? That's...
Yeah, right now it's under the TV, and my dad's going to build a shelf so that we can put it next to the TV, put some lights on it.
So cool. And then, so now they're sponsoring you, or they give you clubs, or what all do they do?
Yeah, they help provide me with clubs. They make sure that I have the best clubs for my specific needs. They have a wonderful adaptive fitting program with somebody who specializes in adaptive fitting, and it's really a perfect program for me.
Oh, I need to do that, because that's, I mean, many of the long conversations me and Eric have had. I'm using clubs. I have my driver is a stiff shaft. It's my old Ping driver. I love Ping. That's all I've ever played. My irons, I think I don't know what even shaft they are, but they're my dad's old Verizon Senior regular shaft. I'm sure it's not the right lie or a shaft. And I got some different woods, same thing. I'm not even sure what the shaft is, so I'm certainly probably not playing, but I mean, the best club I have in my bag is my driver. I mean, it's just like clockwork. I hold it 220, 230 down the middle with a little baby draw. And so I love that. The rest of the game's got a lot of work to do. Mainly the chipping and putting, but I'm getting there. I'm progressing really fast. So, but I'm excited about... So did you get your clubs fitted there, or do they...
Yeah, so I did my fitting up at Ping on Monday. I did the fitting with Brian Bork. He's their adaptive fitter. He's amazing. And I just got my clubs 2 days ago, actually. Yesterday was my first day trying them out on the range, and I love them. So very excited about this
I'm
game.
jealous. Yeah, I'm going to this afternoon to an indoor golf simulator. Judd Stevenson used to be the pro at Avon Oaks. And he's actually not only a pro, but he is actually a club fitter for Ping. He has the ability to do that. I'm curious, but Eric, maybe you would know the difference between adaptive club fitting versus normal. I mean, obviously, my swing speed is not going to be the fastest, but is there other nuances to it?
Just in general, anyone that's wanting to play the game and be more serious about it, for what little more you're going to spend on a precisely fit set of clubs for you is by far worth every penny you'll spend. Whether you're adaptive or an able-bodied golfer, there's really nothing special. With all the technology today, they can absolutely zero in to the proper shaft, proper grip, proper head, loft and lie. And then you even get down to what ball is going to compress the best for you, generate the proper spin for you. If we're not using the technology available, you're just missing out on really playing your best potential golf. And now for you, Sandy, it's in the seeded division, it's a little bit tougher because you really need to have that device, that your butt is going to be in to be fitted so they can truly get the proper lie and loft for you. Most seeded players, the hardest thing is the proper trajectory. And you're not going to get that if you're not properly fitted, because there aren't, clubs off the shelf that's going to work for you. And that's why Solar Rider has developed a training seat. And it's the same seat put on outriggers that can be rolled into a hitting bay and used. You're getting one to use for yourself in a hitting bay to keep things tuned up through the winter. And we're going to start making those readily available. There's a lot of PGA Superstores that are interested. Top golf centers are interested. There's other fitters that are interested. We have a local fitter here that we've had people fly in and get fitted by them. But ultimately, if you're playing the game and you're not utilizing the technology and having clubs fit for you, you're certainly missing out, because it's not that much more than what you're going to spend for something off the shelf. And it really makes a big difference. And I think, Bailey, you've had a chance to play with yours once, and I'm sure you felt the benefit right away. Most people shave strokes off their score immediately.
Could you tell right away, Bailey?
Yeah, I could tell right away. I was getting about an extra club out of all of the clubs that I was hitting. And I was just, even those little off-center hits were going a lot straighter than they were before. And I had the Ping G410s before these G430s. So it's just the little bit of improvement is amazing.
Wow. I can't wait. I actually had a neighbor, Barry Jaskovich, really nice guy. He actually built me, him and some neighbors built me a ramp in my garage so I can actually now come and go out of the house. I don't drive, but I don't need someone to help me down the stairs. I have a little ramp. It's pretty cool. And he has PXG clubs and said that they were, custom fitted and all that stuff. And I actually called that guy from there. He lives down here locally. I was going to go to the east side and try. It's only $25. So to get a club fitting with PXG, but those are pretty expensive clubs. I don't know if you've ever even looked into that, but I was just going to do it just to see what the fitting says. I'd be curious, but I certainly would prefer to use Ping, because that's just everything I have. I love them. But and then who is the other? You've been a sponsor that. What do they pay for your entrance fees and travel, or what all do they explain that some more to me, please?
Yeah, so Click Control Marketing is my sponsor, and they make it possible for me to go and travel in all these tournaments.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember I looked at Eric had sent me their website, and I went online and tried to sign up to get information. Just it seems pretty cool. They're in Michigan.
Yep, they're based in Michigan, and they specialize in creating high-impact digital marketing plans for companies so that they're able to get the most out of their marketing dollars.
Very cool. Where in Michigan are they?
They're kind of right outside of Flint, Grand Blanc area.
Okay. My wife's from Detroit, Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills area, so we go to Michigan all the time. I love Michigan. Lots of really good golf courses up there. And how long have they been involved with you?
So they've been involved with me through 22 season to 23 season, so 2 years.
That's really cool.
They're extremely supportive.
What's that?
They're extremely supportive. I'm very blessed to have them supporting me along this journey.
So, like, how many tournaments this past summer did you play, and what's the goal for next year?
Yeah, so I played in 5 tournaments this past summer, and I plan to play in probably 5 or 6 this coming year also.
Nice. And where were those tournaments at? Because you're in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
You're in
so I played
Scottsdale?
So there weren't any in Scottsdale, actually. I played in the Conquerors Paragolf Championship, which was in Tucson last year. I was at my home course, so it was real close, which was nice. And then I played in the United States Disabled Open, which I won. And then I played in the U.S. Adaptive Open at Pinehurst, which I took 3rd in. And then I played in the Florida Adaptive Open, which I won. And then I also played in the Texas Adaptive Championship, which I won.
And you won that one too.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive record right there.
Thank you. Yeah,
So,
it's been an incredible year. It's been a lot of hard work to get to this point, but I'm happy to be here now.
yeah, I'm excited because I'm progressing. And again, I've sent a lot of videos of some shots I'm hitting, and he's already given me some very good pointers. Because my struggle has been ball position, and I've been just adjusting it. First it was too far, I was reaching, and I was too close, and in the hang of it, I still got some work to do. But I'm hoping with the simulator and the video can find out what do you call it, Eric? The bottom of the arc, or
your impact zone.
So I can try and get more consistent with that. Although I think it might be difficult because I know you said you don't like hitting off mats, and I normally do not like hitting off mats. I need grass, but it's obviously indoor. So in Cleveland in the winter, I'll take what I can get and hopefully get it figured out. And I'm gonna actually go this afternoon to do my orientation. It's not like you know more about this than I do, Eric. You talk to Judd. He's got there's 3 bays. It's very high tech stuff, and but the way he does it, it's not open to the public. It's like a membership, like a country club. And I did the 12-month membership, and then I just go. I have a card that he's give me. I go into the simulator. You got to schedule it out a certain amount of times, and I show up and have it for an hour or 2. And he's going to keep the chair there, so I'll be there every freaking day this winter, probably. So I'm looking forward to that. And there's chipping and putting. Unfortunately, there's no indoor bunker, which I have found out. So Bailey, do you go in the bunkers?
It depends on the bunkers. Some bunkers are safe for me to go in, especially if there's like compacted sand, then I can usually get in with my crutches or with the Solar Rider. But if it's a steep bunker or there's really fluffy sand, I usually have to take an unplayable lie and drop it out because it's not safe for me to go in there.
And so are there certain bunkers that they go around and deem playable or unplayable?
Yeah, so tournament directors recently have been going around and labeling some bunkers as ground under repair. And by labeling it as ground under repair, you're then able to get a free drop out of there if you go in. But if the bunker is not labeled as ground under repair and you still can't go in, then you must take a 1-stroke penalty and drop out.
Well, that's actually not too bad. I mean, if you're trying to go in and if you're just going to hit it 5 feet, or might as well just take the one stroke and give yourself a good lie. So that'll be interesting because there's another gentleman at the club I'm at Avon Oaks. His name is Mark Williams. I'm supposed to play with him tomorrow, but I don't know if the weather. We had snow here on Tuesday. Woke up to snow. So it's still might be a little too wet. It would have been the last round of the year, definitely for sure for me. But I was hoping to play with him and his brother-in-law Aaron Lowe, who's become a dear friend, who's really got me back golfing. And he uses the stand-up golfer. Eric, do you know?
Yes, the para golfer, and now
That's it.
it's now the Paramotion.
So
and that Paramotion is manufactured by Power Base Tech out of Germany. And what Solar Rider and Power Base Tech have done this year is we've joined forces to where Solar Rider is now the exclusive distributor of the Paramotion here in North America. And then likewise, Power Base Tech over in Germany is the exclusive distributor of Solar Riders over in Europe. So we're going to help support each other and the players. We've never really felt that we were competitors because the equipment is so different, and they both have a position to help people with certain injuries. And so to help somewhat litigate the competition of devices, we've just went ahead and we've joined forces. And for Solar Rider right now, we are actually in the formation of changing our name to become Adaptive Devices, so that we will start introducing other devices for the adaptive golf. And so we've chosen not to just be called Solar Rider. So you'll start seeing that nameplate come out on our devices. We just received yesterday our first 6 Paramotions out of Germany. And so we'll add a label on there, with our 1-800 number as Adaptive Devices. It won't say Solar Rider. So yeah, this will be a fun treat. But I want to jump back for a second when you were talking to Bailey about the bunkers and what the tournament directors are doing. And it's for the competitive players, it's very important. So 3 weeks ago, the USGA, they went up and basically did a pre-inspection of the course for next year's US Adaptive Open Championship. And what we delivered, one Paramotion and one Solar Rider, so that they could drive the entire course and review each and every bunker. And so they've already notated which bunkers are going to be GIR. And for the players, when you're practicing, it's important for part of your course management to identify those bunkers and realize, like Bailey was saying, for her, there may be bunkers with softer sand and they're not labeled GIR. It's important to notate that in your practice rounds. So when you're playing in your tournament, with your course management knowledge, you stay away from them. Don't put yourself in that potential position to where you're going to take a penalty shot. So it's great to see what the tournament directors are doing, and it's one of the things I continue to say, wrong or right, but I believe that adaptive golf, even though it's been around for several years, I still think it's in the infant stages. And to see the competition today versus just what it was yesterday, it is amazing how competitive it is getting and how many more tournaments are being held. And you jump back a little further with Bailey and Click Control Marketing. I had the opportunity, I haven't formally met and talked to Walt that much, but we had a wonderful phone conversation. And it was essentially by chance. He was invited, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bailey, that he was paired with you in, I think, a golf tournament in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And so Walt, I don't know if he'd ever heard of Bailey before, but the inspiration that Walt gained from playing that round of golf with Bailey, he immediately said that he, and with, his company, Click Control Marketing, had and felt like they needed to do something to get engaged in that. And just it's amazing what Walt and Click Control Marketing has done with Bailey today, and it's a struggle for a lot of people out there financially. They would love to play in more tournaments, and I think as adaptive golf continues to grow, the hope is that more companies and corporations will see that and want to be part of the benefit, because I think there's a tremendous amount of physical benefit in the adaptive golf, but I think it's just as much mental. And I've been very fortunate that I've been involved in a foundation over in Scotland called St. Andrew's Legacy. And of course, we focus on veterans around the world. And it's amazing to take a veteran that is struggling to figure out how to deal with their lives today back in the civilian life, take them over to Scotland for a week and remove them from all their fears and challenges and put them amongst other veterans like themselves. And it's to their new bond of brotherhood and sisterhood that has formed over there gives them something to rely on every day other than their standard way of living after they've been in war, and the things they've seen and done and lived through is tremendous. And one of my best friends, Randy Shack, he's your perfect television story where he was supposed to be leaving the next day to go home for R&R and had to go back out on a run, and roadside bomb, injured him. And he wasn't sure what to do when he was sent back to the States and was heading off in the wrong direction. And he found golf, and he's been playing out of a solo rider ever since. And now he's a PGA Hope ambassador. So it is a game, but it's so much more than a game on the physical and mental side. I mean, I consider every day when I'm on the course, it's my mental therapy. So I can only imagine what it does for others. Hopefully with what we're doing here and having Bailey and yourself, Sandy, in a podcast, I hope that it gets out there and reaches others that were maybe uncertain. And I think going back again, looking at Bailey and her history, here she is just a couple of years, 3 years into competitive golf, and she's winning tournaments. And these are not just like little local tournaments. These are major championships. So it's wonderful. And when the USGA held their first Open, I think it became real when they talked about the two winners. Forever, your placard will be hung on the wall with all the other 100+ Open championship winners throughout history. That's how real it is. It's not just a little tournament being held on a local course. They're playing at Pinehurst. They're playing at the home of the USGA. I mean, it's
gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Really, it's just that's where I want to be, and I just can't echo enough of what you say about what helps be out physically, mentally. I would say it's 10 times the emotion it gives me. I want to live. I got stuff to do now. I had so many days where I had to sit around and watch Netflix on the back porch. Now I want to golf every day I can, or hit balls. So my life now is golf and this podcast, and I'm going to do a whole bunch more. And I'm supposed to be dying at this point because of this disease, and I'm not freaking dying. I am living, and I am so excited. I'm going to be around for a long, long time to do a lot more of these podcasts, and we're going to do some more soon, Bailey, because then we'll both be traveling around winning tournaments, and I'm so excited. It's life-changing. It's absolutely life-changing. Even people I know are like, God, you look good. I feel awesome. I've never felt this good mentally in my life. Physically, it's a struggle, but it's getting better. I mean, so this is supposed to be progressive and getting worse. I'm getting better. Yeah, I got a long way to go, but I know I'm going in the right direction, and it's just it's hard to put in words. It's starting to get emotional talking about it because it means so much. But it's just beyond exciting. So I just thank you for all your help, Eric and Bailey, for your inspiration. It's I just can't wait. I used to have a hard time sleeping because I was afraid I wasn't going to wake up. That's how awful I felt. Now I'm excited to go to sleep because I know I'm going to get up and appreciate the day. Everything. Nothing bothers me anymore. I'm just happy to be alive. And now I'm golfing. Even when I'm golfing, guys are like, because I'm very competitive. I used to be able to shoot under par. And now, I'll hit a bad shot and I'm like, swear and slam the club. And like, geez, calm down. You're golfing. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I like your competitiveness, but it's going to take some time. And it has, but I've been practicing a ton. And it's funny, the first time I used it, I came home that night and I literally started crying. I was so upset because my wife, I'm like, maybe I can't do this. This is, it was so difficult. And then it's like, we got to take a different mindset. This is a totally different way. If you got to learn how to do it. 2 weeks went back and I changed the mindset and I slowly started hitting it better. And then I actually wanted to go back out in the course, and I went by myself, and I can actually tee at the ball. I unhook it's kind of funny. It's like a pregnant 3-legged giraffe going, walking over to put the tee in the ground. But I do it, and I have to use a martini tee because my hands still shake, and normal tee I can't use, but the big one I can do that, and I strap myself back in and off I go. Obviously, when I'm playing with someone, it's better when they can just tee it up for me because it keeps things going. But I'm just, you talk about being a golf addict, and I used to be, but I hadn't been for a long time because I couldn't play. I couldn't stand up, and now it's like that's all I want to do. It's absolutely amazing. So I just can't wait to keep going and get interested to do the club fitting, and see how off the clubs. I know the clubs I have now are not the right ones for me. How long does that process take, Bailey, when Ping did yours?
The fitting took about 2 hours in total. And then it took a little over a week for me to get the clubs once it was done.
Well, that's not too bad at all. And then, so, how are we on time? There you go. What else? Eric, what I was going to ask you another question. I forget. So now you're in Arizona, so you get to play year round.
I do.
Do they only have tournaments in the summer?
Not down here. It's pretty hot down here, so I like to get out of Arizona in the summer to play.
That's a good point.
Yeah. It's wonderful this time of year to play in Arizona, though. The courses are in great shape and the weather is beautiful. It's perfect right now.
I bet. So unfortunately I can't play up here. I'm going to try and get down to Florida. I have a buddy who has a place His name's Rich Babel. I'm sure he'll watch. Hi, Rich. He's got a place at Babcock Ranch, and there's a guy there who has a solo rider. So I'm hoping I can either borrow his or open to see if there's a place I could just rent one down there. Do you know if Eric, are they doing that anywhere?
No, and that's one of the things that we continue to work with courses in general that do acquire an adaptive cart. It's so important that when they get it, that they don't stick it under their typical insurance umbrella. And we've run across it multiple times where a course will obtain an adaptive cart, and then another course may need it, or even an individual on another course, and they cannot remove that equipment from that course because of the insurance contracts. And that's
really?
just something, the more groups that we have out there, the more groups like the National Alliance for Accessible Golf, the USAGA, the USDGA, is that we continue to educate, and we're all learning more and more as we go. And as, like I said before, as adaptive golf becomes more competitive, we have to continue to look at those things. And when people are traveling like yourself, Sandy, to look ahead and see what courses have in that area, what adaptive devices to use. And it's getting better, and we obviously have a long ways to go, but it's so unfortunate when courses do have adaptive carts and yet they can't move them to another course. And that's where adaptive golf in general, we need to reach out more into our local communities and help educate more so that more people can get out and enjoy the game for the benefits, like we've talked, the physical and mental benefits that we all gain from playing the game. And not to mention the friendships and the camaraderie are second to none. I've told many that I've been very fortunate. I've played nearly every sport there is to play, but I've never built the friendships that I have done via the game of golf. And it's something that, obviously I hope to do the rest of my life. And it's something that we can all do late in our age. And it's still competitive. It's still fun. And I'm the guy, and all my friends are the same. Even if we're playing for 25 cents at the end of the round, I want your 25 cents.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I told you this, but there's in Cleveland, Ohio, there's Cleveland Metro Parks, really beautiful land and parks, and there's 4 really good golf courses, some of the best public courses in the area. And one's called Big Met in Fairview, Cleveland, and they have 2 solo rider carts. There's one called Seneca, and they have 1. And there's 2 other courses, Sleepy Hollow and Manakiki, which are phenomenal golf courses. They do not have one there. But when I called and asked them, they said, well, if you make a tee time enough in advance, they will call it Seneca and they'll have it brought over. So that's really cool, because it's just easier to have one there. I have my own cart. I have a trailer, but it's a pain to take that somewhere. Now, luckily, I've found a really great guy. He's a Lyft driver and professional driver. He came, got the cart, got the trailer, got my cart from the Club of Matt, Avon Oaks, and took it out to Lyria. It's a great golf course, but it's expensive. It's a process, but at least I can do it. It's worth doing to have somebody else drive it, because it's difficult to do those things. It
is, and you talk about Ohio. There's something special going on up there. 2 weeks ago, I received an RFQ to bid on 10 solo riders for the city of Columbus. So hopefully that's something that they pursue, and we ship 10 new solo riders up to the city of Columbus. So whatever's going on up in Ohio, need to copy and paste it throughout.
Well,
And get more adaptive carts out there for people.
hell yeah, there's a lot of wonderful golf courses up here, and hopefully they do get a bunch more, so I can drive to Columbus and play down there without having to, bring my cart down there in the trailer. It's just so much easier to grab my clubs, go. They pull the cart up and off I go. And
yeah, it is, and that's where that reaching out to the communities and helping them understand. We all love the game. We all care for the game. We care for the course. And that's where it's so important to work with the GMs and the superintendents of the courses and give them a chance to try equipment out, because they certainly don't want equipment on their grounds that could possibly interfere with someone else's game. And if they get the proper information, the proper education, and a chance to actually test equipment on their course, on their greens, on their fairways, and see that it doesn't do any damage, that becomes very helpful. Because I don't know of any superintendent that's not leery of letting a cart roll across their beautifully manicured greens.
yeah,
And as a player, before I understood adaptive golf and the adaptive equipment and the very light footprint that it actually has, I probably would have been one of them. Oh my God, I'm going to miss my putt because that person in front of me rolled across the green in a golf cart. Okay, well, it's a golf cart by definition. But like the solo rider, for instance, with a 200-pound rider and a 50-pound bag of clubs, exerts less than 5 psi per tire, which is probably less than a fourth of a 200-pound person walking on the green. So it's just understanding and, again, educating, the public, one, but the golf courses for sure, getting with superintendents and GMs and giving them all the information needed so that they can help further their education in the adaptive golf. Then it makes everybody feel more welcome to be able to come in and enjoy the game. And obviously when conditions are not right, if it's just previously rained, you certainly don't want to take any cart across the green. And we have to always be respectful of that. It's just a game of respect. It's doing what is right when nobody's looking.
Yeah, I totally get that. And the other thing too, that the carts, the solo rider carts they have here are old.
Yeah.
I mean, the one, the left hand, it doesn't even work as far as the speed. I got to use this one, and it's just like when I swivel the seat, it doesn't always it's kind of moves. It's not staying stationary, so that's difficult. Because several times I don't swing right and I almost fall.
Well, and if you ever run into that out there, let them know. Let them know to call us, and we will tell them how to make the adjustments to stop that from happening. Those are all very simple, and most time there's no cost associated. You can call Solo Rider anytime and get help, and there's no cost. The parts obviously are always in stock. They're reasonably priced, but something like that, you're not even looking at spending money. Yeah, it's just the knowledge of making the adjustment to fix the problem.
You guys have been unbelievably helpful. I remember I called one time just to inquire about a cart, curious about the pricing and stuff. Then I ended up calling back after I left the message, and it was kind of said, well, and I think it might have been you. Said, were you the one who called and left the message? And I go, yeah, that's me. Because I'd already had a used one I was going to buy. And you were like, oh, yeah, that's a great deal. I'm like, he's pretty cool. And the other one, the stand-up golfer, that's like $60,000 new.
30,000.
30,000 used. 30,000
new.
Oh, okay. Because the one that my friend got. But still, that's expensive, and that one. It's night and day. It's hard to drive. So joystick, Solar Rider is just like a car. It's pretty easy. Anyway, it just Solar Rider is perfect for me. I just need a belt.
Well, and again, that's where when Power-Based Tech, Paramotion, and Solar Rider, one of the main reasons that we've joined together. The Paramotion, it is a little bit more expensive than the Solar Rider, but it fits different disabilities that are better physically for the player and gives them the chance to play a better game of golf. The Paramotion is also a medically certified piece of equipment. So that's something when you're traveling that it's advertised as an electric wheelchair. So there's some different benefits. The technology in it is fantastic. And then Solar Rider is built that probably suits the larger majority, but there's people that simply would not be able to play the game of golf today because with their injury, they would not be able to successfully play out of a Solar Rider. So it's nice that you have two different pieces of equipment that I would say probably covers 90+% of the bases.
Yeah.
And so it's nice. And we always encourage people to, regardless what your illness, element, disability is, try both. Whatever one works best for you and makes you feel the most comfortable, that's one less thing you have to worry about when playing the game of golf, because I think we all can agree that we do enough to ourselves on the golf course to make it more difficult. We don't need a piece of equipment that doesn't fit.
That's true. Bailey, do they have a lot of them available out in Arizona, the Solar Riders, just in general clubs?
Unfortunately, not right now, at least in Tucson. Up in Phoenix, Ability 360 has some carts, which get used pretty frequently, I hear. But down in Tucson, there aren't very many carts. The U of A has a cart, and then I have my new cart coming, which I can use then.
Well, hopefully this podcast will change that at a lot of places around the country, because it's I have a friend who's in Florida now, and he invited to come on down and play. I go, well, unfortunately, I can't play without this cart. And he was going to check to see. I haven't heard back from him, so I'm guessing the answer is no. They don't have one there or the ability to rent one. But hopefully we can change that, because very soon, because it's amazing, truly life-changing what this has done for me. And I want others to be able to do that. Even if you don't golf, it's so much fun, and it's I gotta pinch myself a lot of times just that I'm able to do it again, and I can't wait to meet you soon, Bailey, and you, Eric. Would love to maybe this winter come either down to Dallas or out west. We can all go out and play golf together, and we'll have a little side bet on that, Eric. Okay.
Hey, I can hook you up with a cart. I know somebody.
Perfect. Well, this was truly amazing, and I can't wait to do it again when we're able to play. Can't able to meet you and play golf with you and get in some of these tournaments and win them next summer. Thank you so much. Let me, if before we close out, anything else that you'd like to say, Bailey?
Thank you for having me on. I had a great time talking with you, and I'm very excited about the growth of adaptive golf.
Yeah, it's so cool. Thank you so much. And Eric, any last words and thoughts?
Bailey, keep doing what you're doing. I'll definitely stay in touch with you and your mom and Walt and everyone else. enjoy the new clubs, enjoy the new cart coming your way. And for you, Sandy, being up north, joining this new outfit to be hitting in, just employ the same attitude as if you're playing on the courts. Don't just swing to swing, and don't just hit balls to hit balls. Take time between every shot, visualize your shot, and try to execute that shot, even when you're in a hitting bag. Too many of us just go out just to hit balls, and that does nothing but just teach bad habits. Get good lessons, get proper equipment, and practice for real. If you do those things, you learn so much faster. And again, Bailey has a terrific coach, and to look how far Bailey's progressed just in a matter of 3 years. It's all about that effort, the physical effort, the mental effort, and the absolute desire to play championship golf. And Bailey, I'm so proud of you. Great job.
Thank you.
Great job,
Sandy,
man.
I want to see you with a medal or a trophy.
You're going to see it
Hold you to
soon.
it.
I promise you. And thank you for that information about practice, because that's going to be, a lot of times I go out in the range, I'm just firing it, and
No good. Don't do that.
I'm just
And keep-
I'm ingraining bad habits, I guess. So that's very helpful, because I do that too much. And
Yeah, and worse than bad physical habits, you're developing bad mental habits. If you can't sit there and mentally see a shot and then physically execute it, we're not gaining traction. And that's what we on the range. And I know people see me on the range every day and ask even my own son, "Don't you get bored?" No, I don't get bored. I might be out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I've never hit a ball without intent. And I think and I don't think Bailey would be where she's at today if she didn't have that same. You've got Dennis Walters being inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2019 as the first and only disabled golfer.
Dennis Walters has always loved golf. He had aspirations of playing in the PGA Tour until one day his life was drastically changed.
I had an accident 35 years ago, which left me paralyzed from the waist down. And I found there are a lot of things that I couldn't do, but there's no way I was giving up playing golf.
With that determination and passion, he created the Dennis Walters Golf Show, featuring some pretty impressive golf shots. The show is in its 33rd year, fulfilling Dennis's dream to travel the country playing golf.
I had no idea how I was going to get back on the course, but I was able to do it, and I've been on tour now for 33 years. This is not exactly the tour I had in mind, but nonetheless, every day when I wake up, I get to do the thing that I really love to do the most, and that's to hit golf balls and hit them as well as I can today and try and hit them better tomorrow.
With his golf bag of tricks, he puts on quite the show.
This is Mr. Bucky. He can answer any question as long as the answer to the question is a number. He does this by barking out the answers. Very good in math, general information, and golf trivia. I'll ask him a few questions. 2 plus 2. Excellent.
Did we mention this dog's a Dolphins fan?
When the Dolphins score a touchdown, how many points do they get? Extra point. Go for 2. Very nice. Let's hope they have many of those.
This amazing duo can do quite a few tricks, drawing both awe and inspiration.
I think people need to hear once in a while and to see an example that no matter how long the odds are or how tough the situation is, that if you're willing to put forth the effort, you can probably achieve what it is that you want to do.
Good boy. All right. Way to go, Buck. Way to go, Bucky. Nice going, then. Good play.
Trust me, if anyone can outwork Dennis Walters, you stand a heck of a good chance of winning a tournament. That man is a workhorse unlike anything I've ever seen.
Well, he's inspiration. I'd love to meet him and talk with him
check out the
sometime.
Dennis Walters show and watch some of his segments.
Well,
It's phenomenal. It's very inspiring.
I've seen several. I'm going to start watching some more. And I remember seeing that the first time. I'm like, all right, that's my goal.
Yeah,
To beat him. To beat him.
Yeah, I tell you, it's amazing what he can do. There's so many. Even if you're not playing in these tournaments, go out and watch these tournaments, because it is absolutely phenomenal what these individuals are doing in the game of golf. I mean, I've been involved since 2019, and I'm blown away constantly. It is so impressive, and it makes me go work even harder.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
tremendous.
I'd love to meet him, and maybe we get him to come on a podcast too, because he was the first person to inspire me to get better, and now Bailey has done that as well, and I just can't thank you both enough, and we'll talk again very soon. Please, Bailey, feel free to call or text anytime. I text and call Eric a lot, probably annoying him, I'm sure, but I'm so excited. So,
Well, keep the videos coming. I'll keep looking at your videos, and we'll keep, making steps forward, and then we'll prove it with your scoring.
excellent. I will definitely do that. So, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. That's the end of this episode, but we will talk again very, very soon.
Perfect. Appreciate
Thanks,
it, Sandy.
guys.
Take care, Bailey. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
You bet.
See ya.
Bye.